There is a killer stalking through the crowds. His gaze is set upon a solitary target, his mind tuned to a fine machine. He is calculating all possible outcomes. Finally, he seizes upon his target, a world-famous rock star. The plan is made, the die is cast. Years of training and conditioning lead to this moment. There is no other way. A predator has its prey in his vision. Only one thing stands between him and his quarry. A bitchin' drum solo! Yeah. Meet Agent 47, murderous savant. Now the thing about 47 is...
Ignore that. He was ill. But I'm sure that I can do his job. After all, I've got his headphones on now. Hitman 2016 and its sequel, Hitman 2, are stealth-based games where you play everyone's favorite bald assassin, Agent 47. He's lean, he's efficient, he loves murder puns.
Oh, what's on the menu? Something that'll take care of this hideous pain in my neck, I hope.
I promise. Once I'm done, you won't feel a thing.
Way to be subtle, man. With the recent release of Hitman 3, we here at the space station have 47 fever. Stabbing, electrocuting, and poisoning people is so fun that we decided to go back to the year 2016, and review the 2 previous games in the series. We also, for reasons that still aren't clear, thought it would be a good idea to do both Hitman 2016 and Hitman 2 in one video, thus making it way longer and more work for ourselves. We also didn't really have a choice, though, since we bought both of these games at the same time and played them as one long murder spree.
This is not acceptable.
So with that in mind... Yes, I know there were differences between Hitman and Hitman 2, and that Hitman has been patched to include some of the improvements, but I literally bought the second one first because it was on sale, and then I bought the patch that gave me all the levels from Hitman afterward, so...
Get off my back!
The mechanics of these games really feel like they've perfected a well-polished formula. Step 1. Here's your target and why you want to kill them. Evil Tony Stark and his daughter did a war crime. Got it. Lots of reasons to want to poison or explode them. Step 2. Discover their route around this large, beautifully crafted level. Step 3. Using your X-ray Hitman instincts and incredibly strong fingertips, find a way to kill them. Step 4. Cheese it! It seems simple because it is. The inherent idea of Hitman is pretty straightforward, but the fun comes in the execution.
Both targets down. Well done, 47. Head for an exit, and we'll speak again soon.
IO Interactive gives you a whole host of tools to play with, both as Agent 47 and as a player, that make taking out these 2 scumbags delightfully fun. Take the mission stories, for example. Mission stories serve multiple purposes. First, so IO can show off their writing chops by crafting events that Agent 47 can trigger. Gather the right intelligence, find the right outfit, do the prep work, and you are rewarded with this. But they also tend to take you all across the level, so you can learn the patterns and layout well enough to succeed on your own later. Once you've finished the mission stories and gotten a good idea of how the level works, it's very rewarding to put the steps together in new ways to get a different result. Do you want to poison Sierra Knox instead of blowing her up on the podium? Combine the steal the poison from the medic center steps from one kill with the make her win as a race marshal steps from the explosion death, and presto, you've poisoned her in front of everyone.
it down. Next up, Robert Knox.
For over 2 decades, IO has been polishing the formula of this franchise, taking what worked from previous games like Absolution's X-ray vision, and ditching the more cumbersome and slow elements, like the fact that X-ray vision ran out.
Guy. That's not something.
Is it?
God damn it! The polish on this formula means that the usual X-ray vision while hiding behind a box and distracting a guy with objects gameplay is at its best and brightest. But the real gem is the social stealth. Shh, I am the heart surgeon now. Just like in real life, Agent 47 knows instantly how to do anyone's job by putting on their clothing. Wait, what? That's not how it works? Okay, well then I guess 47 just knows how to do any job. Engineer, drummer for both rock and bongos, and even fashion model. It must be all that downtime while he's traveling the world in his private jet. But just because an outfit gives you the ability to be a doctor or gets you in with the target doesn't mean that other people can't suss you out. Enforcers, the NPCs with white dots over their heads, will be able to notice you don't belong if you give them a good line of sight to you. Though, what counts as a good line of sight is somewhat relative. Luckily, Agent 47 can do a lot to hide in plain sight. In Hitman 2016, blending in was mostly limited to contextual button prompts at pre-planned areas and jumping into boxes or cabinets. In Hitman 2, you can blend in with crowds, hide among the ferns, and cram yourself in the icebox. You can't see me. When the outfits and boxes fail you, you can always take out the person standing in your way. Guns are an option. Actually, guns are a lot of the options. I'm not even near finishing all the challenges and escalations, and I have a lot of guns in my loadout screen. Problem is, I never use them.
I don't like guns.
Guns without silencers draw the attention of nearby NPCs when fired. Any guns on your person make it hard to infiltrate areas where you're going to be frisked, and I never really felt the need to use a firearm when I could poison the target with things found in the level. Hell, the only time I use the larger guns is during sniper missions, and when there's a challenge calling for you to kill someone with a headshot.
You said you didn't like guns.
I don't. Never said I couldn't use them.
But there are other ways to take out that inconsiderate guard standing in your way. Throw a wrench at his head to knock him out. Throw a screwdriver to ruthlessly murder him. Fair warning though, sometimes the auto lock can be a bit fiddly and... whoops. And fiddly button prompts are not unique to throwing in these games. Hitman 1 and 2 have a real problem with contextual button prompts, where I'll take out this waiter flawlessly, then deposit him into a box, and then pick up this fire extinguisher instead of opening the door to flee. 47, buddy, I don't need that. Sometimes, you pick a man up and you drag him when you meant to pick up his invitation to a fancy party that's lying 2 inches from his hip. And while it's not game-breaking, it can be annoying to have to drag the body 3 feet away in order to get his stupid keycard. Same thing when I have to figure out if this is a low wall that 47 can jump down from, or if this is an identical low wall that I can't jump down from for some arbitrary reason. The man is described as a walking stem cell. In the hospital level, he should be able to jump from this small ledge without twisting his ankles. Wow. This sure is a barrier to progressing. Oh hey, speaking of barriers in progress. Online-only digital rights management, or DRM, is so damn stupid, and I'm gonna take a minute to complain about it. 1, I for sure have seen torrents of these games online. Not that I pirate things, obviously I have money, I'm a YouTuber. So it didn't work. Your big plan to keep people from torrenting your game, it failed. Which means that all you've managed to do is make the game worse for paying customers. You know, like me, who liked your games and gave you money for them. So not only did you lose, sir, but you pissed off the people who actually paid you for your really good video games. Because now, if I have even a hiccup in my internet connection, the game throws up a, "Hey, you need to reconnect now" sign, and then I have to spend 5 to 10 minutes figuring out what the hell happened, resetting the modem or whatever, instead of murdering this blood-sucking lawyer with a fugu fish.
I hope you like it. My colleague is a straight arrow. Me, I say it's good to live dangerously.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
What's going on?
And if I don't reconnect, then any challenges I completed or areas I discovered don't count towards my score at the end of the level. And the points you get unlock the new murder weapons and starting areas. But that doesn't even stop people from playing the damn game. There are so many opportunities to kill people and options in the level design that I very rarely actually swap out my starting equipment in the loading screen. Why do I need a red exploding duck when I can break into the security office and get an explosive there? Oh, and don't talk to me about preventing cheating on leaderboards. I don't care about leaderboards. I couldn't give one solitary fuck about how well I rank up against random people I don't know. And from what I hear, your DRM hasn't stopped people cheating on the PC version anyway. So yeah, it sucks, and it didn't work, and again...
You lose! Good day, sir!
The rest of my complaints are minor at most. Load times on the PS4 can be a bit obnoxious for how easy it is to mess up and end up riddled with bullets. Guards and security officers occasionally seem to vastly overreact to minor things like stepping too far forward, and then they become suspicious, and then they riddle you with bullets. But the autosave is good enough that I rarely lose all my progress, and sometimes it's fun to go on a murder rampage once you realize you're not getting out of the clusterfuck you've created. The score system is deeply satisfying. Getting a 5-star silent assassin rating at the end of an expertly planned murder plot really lets you bask in the fruits of your labor. Though I do wish they would tell me how many non-targets I've killed instead of making me do math. I love the extra detail that IO Interactive gives you in the text mission intel briefings, but I wish they'd pump up the size of the text so I can read them on my TV without my eyes revolting in protest. The PC version is a touch more bearable, but come on, guys. Please give me some accessibility options to change it. Maybe that's a note for my section on the graphics. They're good! You want more than that, don't you? Look, if you're coming to these reviews for me to gush about how great the graphics are, you're in for a disappointing time. Graphics are literally one of the very last things I care about when going into a game. There's not nothing to say. The vistas in the distance of some of these levels are absolutely stunning. Thailand, in particular, deserves a shout out because every time I see this city, I want to just go there and hang out. And Haven Island from the DLC, wow. I'm not gonna lie, I actually spent half an hour just having a vicarious vacation with 47. Just look at this place. The swim-up bar, the villas, everything is ocean-themed.
That is Stephen Bradley, notorious hacker, chief programmer at Haven, and
Go
rumored
away,
to be quite
Diana, I'm
reckless
on
in his behavior.
vacation. The colors and palette chosen for each level enhance the setting, mood, and aesthetic of the game beautifully. I spent a lot of time in the levels just enjoying the ambiance or marveling at some of the ornate chandeliers.
Well done, 47.
Now that I've fulfilled the graphics so pretty portion of my review contract, there's only a few minor issues. While there are now whole crowds of people with unique faces, you still tend to see copies of the same people. Sometimes they're all standing in the same group, too, which makes it glaring. It's worse depending on the level. I don't mind that this guy and his twin brother decided to match for race day, but why are there a million of this same woman in this same blue dress at a high-end fashion show? These aren't mass-produced eBay knockoffs, this is high fashion. But technology has limits, and too many unique faces might melt my PS4, so I don't blame them too much for this one. Perhaps Hitman 3 will have this problem less because of the graphical upgrade, but at this point, I can only speculate on that. Because no one will ever be able to buy a PS5. Ever. Now, something that was very glaring to me was that the text is sometimes too small. Just kidding. The actual glaring thing is the sudden and awkward shift between games from fully animated cutscenes to motion comics. Essentially, pictures with some small animations. While the still frames are beautifully drawn, they just remind me of the beautiful cutscenes from the first game, and how much more I liked them. Oh, I actually do have one other thing I want to gush about for graphics. The mission briefings. I don't know if it's my autistic brain or what, but I love these mission briefings. Diana's soothing voice in combination with the beautiful color scheme, in combination with the expert graphics. I don't know what it is, but I sometimes just sit and watch the briefings one after another. They are a visual snack for my eyeballs, and I really hope they keep them for the next game because I've seen the previous briefings and they're just words. Snooze fest! I require whichever graphic designer managed to make these so lovely and animated alongside Diana's dulcet tones. And speaking of dulcet tones, listen to this. Now listen to this. IO Interactive has a damn good Foley artist. I never once asked myself, I wonder what it sounds like when a giant ceramic moose falls onto a douchebag, and yet I know, deep in my soul, that it sounds like this. And you wouldn't think that the sound makes a big difference, but when we first played this game, it was on a computer with terrible speakers, so the switch to the TV was similar to... And the fun doesn't stop with the murder noises, oh no. Hitman is a world of immersive music, sly background conversations, and chattering crowds. The deep bass of the catwalk music at a Paris fashion show really makes you feel like 47 should be shouting over it. What? Sorry, what did you say? And can we talk about the 3 really good songs IO Interactive produced for the level where you murder a rock star? Like, stupidly good songs. My favorite is Gun Show, but check out these bangers. Sure, the lyrics are trying a little too hard to be about death and murder, but 47, my man, you couldn't have let him finish the album?
According to the police, Miss Highmore's death was a tragic accident, but her parents remain unconvinced. They firmly believe that Cross murdered Hannah.
Fair enough. .47 has been played by the same voice actor for the last 20 years. That's pretty damn impressive for both IO Interactive and the man himself, South African voice actor David Bateson.
This is Agent 47.
Bateson has a solid understanding of 47 as a character and injects just enough deadpan humor into his delivery to make the murder puns really shine. Agent 47 is much more chatty in this iteration than he has been in other games. Even the actor himself was a little concerned.
So something's actually interesting that's happened in this from Hitman 1 to Hitman 2, which I was actually against. He talks a lot more. Agent 47 for 19 years has been the silent assassin. When I was recording, I was going, this isn't Agent 47.
But you wouldn't be able to tell that from listening to the character. 47 actually has some personality in this series, and it's delightfully morbid. The social camouflage system also offers some wonderful opportunities for David Bateson to give 47 a sharper wit than he's traditionally had in the past. Watch in Oz, 47 sells a house.
Your standard garage, spacious enough for someone to set up a gym or training area. With some added soundproofing, an enterprising individual could use this for many things.
Or nails a job interview.
I see a figure in a large coat, perspective skewed, as if I'm looking at him from the ground.
Go on.
He's armed, dual firearms. large caliber pistols.
I see. What else do you see?
He's just finished a job, perfectly executed.
And who is this man?
It's me.
Or provides some much-needed therapy to a man who really hates women.
She smothered you, so you smothered her. Is that how it happened?
Yes! All right. I did it. I did it.
There you go. You'll feel better in no time. Or, well, at least you did. And that humor lends itself to the overall plot, too, since characters keep implying that Diana is rubbing off on Agent 47, and, well...
Why don't you step in and offer your services, 47? You're good with a wrench. Target down. Next up, Robert Knox.
Speaking of Diana, the enigmatic Englishwoman is the person you'll hear from the most, next to our favorite sociopath.
Good morning, 47. Your destination is the Hitman Luxury Hotel Resort on the Chao Phraya River, just outside Bangkok. Good afternoon, 47. Your destination is Marrakesh, Morocco, where civil riots are looming. Good morning, 47. We have a lead on the Shadow client. Good evening, 47.
Diana Burnwood is played by Jane Perry, who is newish to the role. While she played Diana in 2014's Hitman Sniper mobile game, this is Perry's first time playing her in a major franchise installment. She plays Diana as a woman who is just as much in control of her surroundings as Agent 47 is, and adds an air of authority, similar to Judi Dench's M, except with a sense of humor. This is an older, more refined Diana than in previous entries. She's also a key character in both Hitman 2016 and Hitman 2. It's nice to see them finally use her for some stuff, because for the first time, Diana drives the story more than Agent 47 does. She's the one who and her is sure to be a major plot point in Game 3. What? Hold on. My handler is suggesting that I save that for the story section. Just trust me when I say that Diana's hunger for justice is understandable and comes across really well. The side characters and NPCs are also done well. It's a bit weird that there are so many people with thick British or American accents in places like Marrakesh.
Hurry up, get cracking!
But they seem to have course-corrected in Hitman 2 and put in some extra work to localize the voices.
I haven't met the new foreman yet. Is he better than the last one?
Pata nahi yaar. He's still in the office.
You can tell that the voice actors for the targets really had fun playing people who are just so evil. Kudos to all of them, because they have real punchable voices.
Since it is difficult to join them together, it is safer to be feared than to be loved, when one of the two must be lacking. Finally, someone manages to drag themselves from the IT dungeon.
Ugh, go away.
Ridiculous. Why?
The other big player is John Hopkins as Lucas Gray.
I smoked pot with Johnny Hopkins.
Gray is mysterious and gives you the sense that he's holding something back, which works for the narrative of both games. The monologues at the start of each game that Gray gives are a little over the top, but I suspect that's more the way they were written. I don't know if you're aware, but we ask actors to do a lot.
The Hive haven't been on Earth in centuries. That wizard came from the moon.
He also doesn't have many lines until near the end of the second game, so it's harder to get a good feel for the character. He does seem to genuinely feel the emotions he claims. His conversation with Diana comes across as real, but his limited time on your team works to his detriment when you spend a fair amount of the games listening to him threaten people. I suspect this will be fixed in Hitman 3, where he'll have a bigger role and more involvement in events. Though the ending of the DLC does call that into question. First off, Forget all the previous games. If soft reboots are good enough for the Halloween franchise, then they're good enough for 47's. So while the game's plotline and most of the missions throughout the series are considered a part of Agent 47's career, IO Interactive has made the decision to ignore the weirder parts of most of the other games. So while Dr. Ortmeyer, the German scientist who made Agent 47 into a murder robot, is mentioned a few times throughout the game, Victoria isn't brought up once. Even if IO Interactive claims that this game takes place 6 years after Absolution, almost nothing from that game is mentioned in this one, so it barely matters. We begin the game in the snowy mountain lair, training facility of the International Contract Agency.
Why skulls? Well, maybe they're the skulls of our enemies.
Maybe. But is that how it comes across? I mean, it doesn't say next to the skull, yeah, we killed him, but trust us, this guy was horrid. Are we the baddies?
47 arrives and is welcomed to the ICA by Diana Burnwood, who explains the entry exam to you with her lovely, soothing voice. Her and 47 seem to hit it off right away. Her boss, ICA Director Eric Soders, isn't as big of a fan. Thus begins the tutorial levels. And another tangent! Excuse me, game, but am I actually supposed to believe that the ICA hired all these actors and hauled them up to the Arctic Circle to hang out on a fake boat? Where did all these people come from? Are these other members of the ICA? Because if that's the case, I want to see the overtime amount they're getting for this work trip. Seriously, they better be making bank. They don't even get a decent meal while they wait for me to garrote them. So 47, he of the mysterious backstory and barcoded head, shows off his ability to murder with a unique flair that will follow him through the rest of his career. Diana chooses the enigmatic agent to be her hitman, taking on the role of handler, which she keeps for 20 years. After 47 has proven himself, a pissed-off Soders reluctantly allows him into the ICA, and then leaves for the rest of the game. The player is then treated to a truly beautiful cutscene highlighting some of Agent 47's best kills. And no jokes here, this cutscene is lovely, even as almost everyone in it dies. It is narrated by the antagonist but not of the game, Lucas Gray. And honestly, that's where the bulk of the story is. The opening of the game is pretty strong, but the episodic nature when the game was released has clearly hurt the pacing too much to keep the story engaging. The first 4 missions are contracts that seemingly have nothing in common. A pair of international fashion spies, a genetic researcher and his assistant, and a rock star are among them. By the time 47 and Diana figure out that the contracts are all being orchestrated behind the scenes by a shadow client, there are only 2 missions left. The mission directly after that reveal introduces the idea of Providence, a small group of people who rule the world through money, strategically placed operatives, and political wheeling and dealing. What an off-the-wall concept, am I right? The Shadow Client has beef with Providence, and has been using Agent 47 and the ICA to disrupt the global cabal's operations. Players could be forgiven for thinking that the Shadow Client, Lucas Gray, would be your final target. They would be wrong. Even though you see him in almost every cutscene between missions, and he spends a lot of the game doing stuff like this.
Then we're even.
And this.
Your gift and your curse. Touching lives only by ending them.
You know him.
He's not the final target. This guy is. Soders is a member of Providence, and therefore Providence has infiltrated the ICA. Diana takes that personally, so she convinces the board to greenlight Eric's elimination. But because we only learn of Soders' betrayal in the mission before you kill him, and because he's barely in the rest of the game, it's difficult to feel satisfied when you take him out. He's barely one step above the rock star. It's not even clear that 47 and Soders have met in person before you murder the former director. They never even appear in the same room together. It is surprisingly hard to kill this old man having heart surgery, but once you've managed it, you get the final cutscene of the game, and wow, there's some character in there for Diana. A member of Providence that has shown up in some previous cutscenes, the Constant, meets Diana on a train and offers her a trade. Information on Agent 47's origins in return for the Shadow Client. And since Diana genuinely cares for 47, she agrees. And that's about it. Honestly, the overall plot is a little weak. While the cutscenes are beautiful and the levels have their own little stories, the driving force of the plot is a mystery for essentially all of it, and the antagonist is barely present, no matter which of the two you consider the antagonist. It's fairly thin, and really exists just to link the missions together. This may be a casualty of the episodic release of the first game, which was a mistake not repeated with Hitman 2. Actually, speaking of Hitman 2... The 2018 sequel contains 6 base missions, really 5, as New Zealand is much more limited in scope, and 2 more in the DLC, which we will talk about later, IO. Hitman 2 opens about a month after the events of the first game, with Diana and 47 now directly working with Providence by investigating this lovely New Zealand home. Look at it! So nice, so modern. Look at the windows! And the... Oh no. A bit of investigation and a few drops of poison into an air conditioner later, and Team 47 uncovers that 2 Providence operatives have turned and are working with the mysterious Mr. Gray. It's off to Miami we go.
Target down. Next up, Robert Knox.
Afterwards, soft-voiced McEvil guy The Constant reveals Lucas Gray's name and backstory to a bunch of people in a sky layer. Turns out Gray worked for a member of Providence before attacking his boss and teaming up with a hacker named Olivia to try and ruin the organization. Great! Now we actually know what the hell was going on in the first game. Oh, and also... So, IO Interactive announced a while back that they were doing a James Bond game, and I was super stoked. I am very excited about the idea. But I was also briefly surprised, like a... oh shit, really? Kind of feeling. But then I started replaying the second game to make sure I hadn't missed anything for this review, and like, look at this layer! Look at this! This is a glass sky triangle. It's suspended by cables. This is literally just a James Bond villain layer. Why was I even a little surprised that they're making a James Bond game? That was silly of me. In his continuing side project of wiping the Delgado family from the face of the earth, 47 returns to the South American nation of Colombia to continue what he started in Blood Money. This time, the ICA has targeted Rico Delgado and his 2 lieutenants. Agent 47 makes quick, or sloppy, depending on your playstyle, work of these 3, and dismantles a large part of Lucas's transport network. The hard work of dismantling a militia takes a brief break to reveal that Agent 47 isn't the only one with trauma. Diana Burnwood's parents were killed in a car bombing after they took on a company that, through some sort of nebulous negligence, killed her younger brother and 80 others. And poor Diana was there to witness her parents go up in smoke. This explains her drive for justice and is a really great character beat. No joke, I really liked this. Next, Agent 47 makes his way to Mumbai to kill 3 more people, this time ex-pirates. IO is just so damn good at making you feel great about killing these people because not a single one of them fails to be a raging douche nozzle. The pirates are also in Gray's network, but the biggest development in the plot comes after you've finished, in a cutscene. It's a little disappointing that the overall plot isn't woven more closely into the levels themselves. But I suppose the sandbox makes it difficult. You could be in the middle of establishing some important plot via NPC dialogue when... whoops. The cutscene has 47 tracking down, or perhaps being lured, into a confrontation with Lucas Gray. This is it. The showdown. The first time these 2 have met in the series. Or is it?
There was an incident. That boy, he died.
He lived. Because of you. Don't you remember his name? You know this. Deep down, you know. What was his name?
Subject 6.
It's not. Revelations abound as we learn Lucas Gray was another member of the experiment that turned Agent 47 into an emotionless murder machine. It was 47 and Gray, formerly named Subject 6, against the world, until they were separated. After Diana and 47 agree to help Gray and Olivia take out the partners... After 47 agrees to help Gray kill the partners, Diana goes along because of peer pressure and Olivia complains about it, Team Gray uses an experimental serum to unlock 47's memories. He remembers his childhood as a super soldier in training under the departed Ort Meyer, and the trauma doesn't stop there. He also remembers being berated by the former Constant, a man codenamed Janus. Now, Gray and 47 have proof that Providence was behind their shitty childhoods, and they both want revenge. The last 2 levels of the main game concern 47 targeting Providence with full fervor. First up is Janus himself, and his lead bodyguard. It's always the bodyguard. In order to find the secret location of a meeting of the world's ultra-wealthy. Team Gray 47... Team 47 Gray? Team Bad Childhood kills Janus and tracks his body to a random island in the middle of the ocean. Finally, they can kidnap the Constant and get the identities of the Providence leaders out of him. But there's a catch. First, we have to kill these 2 fashion-forward relic hunters who each have a trigger to activate a death chip in the Constant's neck. Except now it's my death trigger. Yay me. Once we take them out and wave the death trigger at the Constant, he decides to go quietly. Yeah, that's right, Whisper Boy. Keep walking, because I got a hankering to press this button. So Game 2 ends with Team Greywood. Ugh, sorry, that sounded bad the second I said it. Game 2 ends with Team Angsty Pants slapping the Constant around a boat until he agrees to trade Providence for his own life. It doesn't even take many slaps, which is a little disappointing. Now, usually I would put the story of the downloadable content in our downloadable content section. That's where the DLC of Hitman 2016 is going. But it turns out that Hitman 2's additional content is massively important to the plot. One month after the bulk of the events of Hitman 2, Agent 47 and Lucas Gray must plan an elaborate bank heist wherein they, and by they I mean 47, murder the director of the bank and steal some important information. This intel will connect the financials of the senior partners, the 3 family heads that control the world as the organization Providence, to their new identities, as all 3 have faked their deaths, which is kind of a big deal. Then, after gaining the server information and gracefully escaping the bank, we head to Haven Island. It's run by the Haven Corporation, a company that gets career criminals new identities. Haven Island is downright beautiful, and we must take out 3 targets in order to stop them from resetting the server and passwords every 10 hours. Basically, they have to die because they're too good at their jobs. After we take out the targets and stop the constant resets, Olivia connects our 2 pieces of intel and discovers that the partners have transferred their wealth to someone else. She names the man.
What do you mean?
I mean, they're allocated to someone else. Everything is. The partners are left with no real control. Who is Arthur Edwards?
And Diana takes off running, flinging the door open to reveal that the Constant has escaped. Olivia calls Lucas, and Lucas...
Message from Olivia. Everything's going to plan. We know where the partners are. We have our targets.
Tells 47 that everything is fine. So is Lucas Gray in league with the Constant? Because that's a massive fucking plot moment to put in a DLC that costs $50 to $60. What the fuck, IO? I can hear you now. But Chris, isn't plot and writing the same thing? No, because while the plot of both games are a little weak, the writing of the levels is top tier. Seriously, IO Interactive, why are you so funny? Between Agent 47's murder puns...
Belladonna? Isn't that poisonous?
Yes.
Should I be concerned?
I'm not.
The ridiculous outfits you can put him in, and the host of scripted situations he subdues his way into, it's hard not to laugh. Then you get the Easter eggs and challenges, which are full of pop culture references and cheeky names. sometimes they're both. The levels even have their own individual stories going on that you can discover. They use the missions themselves, conversations between side characters, and pieces of collectible intel to furnish the world and give proper exposition. While most of the level stories are very detailed and filled with options, it seems like any level with more than 2 targets suffers a little in the storytelling. Levels like Club 27 and World of Tomorrow have in-depth details on the targets that can only be discovered through replaying, whereas Colorado, the only mission where you have a whopping 4 targets, offers less to discover about them as individuals and focuses more on the overall plot. Which again, it's pretty weak, so having an entire level that's dedicated to it is a bit of a letdown. It also adds some tonal whiplash to the games, because the main plot has literally zero humor to it. It is a straight drama. So you can go right from this...
Why are you doing this?
I know what it's like to have everything taken from you. He claims to know about your past. Your childhood, your memories, everything Ortmeyer stole from you.
To this. And like... wow. But that's not all. Oh no. The world around 47 is also well written, and the NPCs actually feel like people. They have favorite restaurants.
It's good. It's real good. I mean, I get cravings if I don't come down here to eat once or twice per week. At one point, when I worked near here, I ate lunch here every day.
They gossip about their soon-to-be dead bosses.
Anyway, the Washington twins found it first. The way I hear it, Sophia literally has the necklace in her hand. When Nathaniel repels from the ceiling, triggers this ancient death trap, and, murder and mayhem ensues. But I thought those two were lovers.
And they try to be neighborly.
You again. This place is just amazing. Helen gives away muffins, and you're helping deliver packages. What a day!
Not only does that make the world feel more alive, but it also subtly encourages you to go for a target-only run. It's way harder to kill people who are just doing their jobs and trying to make a paycheck than it is to kill, say, these guys.
Now you know my left!
Okay, easy there.
I'm not gonna do it.
You got the message.
I'm not gonna...
just balling over.
Fuck it.
Okay, fine.
Some of the NPCs are bastards, but none of them are as obnoxious as they've been in previous installments. Now, see, I actually haven't played any other Hitman games. They passed me by. But I'm wearing Chris's headphones, so let me use my psychic powers to tap into the knowledge that his outfit contains.
Yeah. Hello, testing? Nice. Now I can prank call people. Hitman began as a franchise in 2000 with Hitman Agent 47. Changing outfits and 47's basic arsenal of garrote and silver baller are here, but the hell with you if you think 47 has the time for knocking people out or avoiding collateral damage. Hitman 2016 and 2018 began to take shape with the sequel Hitman Silent Assassin, which brought along familiar things like pacification and more open levels. It allows various avenues of approach, but still feels limited in its scope. The game also introduces us for the first time to the Silent Assassin ranking. It's the subtitle of the game and everything. Though there's still an emphasis on gunplay at times, and sneaking is so slow. The newer Hitman games also carried over elements from 2004's Hitman Contracts, which is more of Silent Assassin, but with a little bigger emphasis on the silent part. Though you can still switch to first person for some gunplay. The circular inventory system is the biggest carryover to other games. Now switching between things is easier and will remain mostly unchanged in the newer games. 2006's Blood Money is the closest you can get to the newer game's gameplay. Large levels with multiple ways to dispatch your targets, as well as an almost fully formed arsenal. Poison, remote bombs, accidents. There are a few notable missing elements, however, such as the ability to choke someone out, and it's also odd that you can hide in a closet but not store a body in one. Blood Money is the previous entry IO is clearly proudest of. They include homages all over, from Blood Money's suburb level A Second Life being expanded out to Hitman 2's Another Life, to the story mission Requiem, which once again sees 47 rising from the grave for divine retribution. Even the outfits get a reference with the Blood Money and Requiem suits. If there's a dark horse in the series, it's 2013's Hitman Absolution. It's...
Go with God, motherfucker.
Well...
That ain't no fucking private eye. That's a fucking ghost. That's a myth. That's a fucking hitman.
Hitman?
Oh, shit.
I got wood, man. Why do I have wood?
Clearly it was a departure for the series, with its plot-heavy focus, and most early levels revolving around 47 escaping rather than hunting. Still, it's a Hitman game at its core. Finally, 47 can grab someone from behind and choke them out, even if it takes a really long time. Also, 47 is now much more limited in what he can carry, reduced to only holding one gun, one knife, garrote, a rifle, and only one utility item, like a bottle or a brick. One! No. 47 wants all of the things. That's mine. That's mine. Oh, that too. Oh, and I'll take both of these. It's also odd that 47 can now throw a knife or scissors at someone's head, but bricks just gently bounce off their cavemen-like skulls. There's some stuff that 2016 kept, but a lot more that it didn't, like 47's Red Dead Redemption style auto-target system. Or, Victoria. Then came Hitman Sniper and Hitman Go. Sniper is a glorified flash game, and Hitman Go is a turn-based grid mobile game? Okay, sure. Overall, 2016 and 2018 feel like they kept the best parts of each iteration and jettisoned the dead weight. The series clearly refined itself through the 20 years and 7+ games.
Oof. Wow, that is a strain on the throat. Both games are chock full of challenges, escalations, and downloadable content that is straight up designed to make you play the levels over and over again. Now, some people might say that it's because the game is weak or too short. Those people are wrong. I mean, maybe it's just my mild OCD tendencies and hyperfixation issues talking, but I love it. I love the beat the level wearing one suit challenges and the weird fish ones. I love putting on Beatrix Kiddo's motorcycle outfit and slicing up guards with a katana. Give me the challenges. All of the challenges. Then there's the challenges that are also Easter eggs. Like this one, where I can put on a scarecrow outfit, snipe 4 bells, and burn this entire militia alive. How was I supposed to figure this out on my own without looking it up on the internet, you may ask? I really don't know. Some of these are possible to figure out from the title and the picture on your challenge list. Others, though... Okay. And friends, the content doesn't stop there. You can also perfect your Hitman craft with elusive targets, which we didn't get to play. See, we bought the game in 2020 and not when it came out, so now there's a whole chunk of content that I get to look at but not play. It's a damn shame, honestly, because as you may have picked up on by now, I really love these two games. I don't think it's my fault that I hadn't been motivated to pick one up before now. I have no idea whose fault that could be. And I don't think that I should be further punished for not knowing about these games by having a whole section on the menu for me to wistfully scroll through while wishing I could play. Ooh, a serial killer hunt? That's awesome! The Undying sounds cool. Is that Sean Bean? Then you have the sniper missions, which are basically just sit here and pick people off before a thing happens. Once you do them, they're kind of done. The challenges just get you better sniper rifles, too, and not even one I can use in regular levels. If you just want to pick up the game, play for a couple of minutes, and then drop back out, then they're okay, but they aren't the kind of downloadable content that I prefer. I'm also not very good at them. The downloadable content that I am good at is the story DLC. But before I get into it, Patient Zero was released for Hitman 2016, so I forgive them, and consisted of 4 new missions set in existing locations: Bangkok, Sapienza, Colorado, and Hokkaido. And they're pretty satisfying. They change up existing locations and add some fun new story beats as Agent 47 dismantles the plans of a doomsday cult. Bangkok is first, and it's been given a nighttime look that's pretty damn beautiful. There's no real mechanical differences from the base game. There's 2 targets, new set dressing, and 0 mission stories. So if you really miss the old games where you didn't have any hints, then these are the missions for you. Sapienza is next, and it's much the same as Bangkok. 2 targets and a nighttime look for this fan favorite level. It also gives you an additional objective where you have to get a dangerous bioweapon off one of the bodies. But that's nothing you haven't done before. Hell, that's not even new for this level. Then there's a sniper mission in Colorado. Shoot guys, they die. Woo! The fun bit is that Diana is feeding you intel on your potential targets, and it's up to you to deduce who's infected with a bioweapon and who isn't. Sometimes they're tricky, but with a little patience you can help them shuffle off this mortal coil. Then, finally, there is Hokkaido, where your 2 targets can rise exponentially as a virus infects everybody in the level. The virus sample that you retrieved in Sapienza wasn't the only one, and the creator of the virus has infected himself in an attempt to start a global pandemic. Stupidly, though, he tries to do it on an airplane and is immediately caught. Back to the hospital we go, but this time, instead of killing our old boss, we get to kill the titular Patient Zero and the doctor who wants to reverse engineer the virus. However, the dummies haven't put Patient Zero in a hazmat suit, and so he starts infecting people all over the hospital. Each of these people also becomes a target. Now, if the intention was to have your player go totally ham on the level and murder everyone, then hey, great, they succeeded. If they want you to minimize the infection, then yeah, it didn't work out that way. And the extra annoyance of being infected yourself and having 5 minutes to find the antidote really makes it difficult to get through this level. I'm not sure this virus mechanic worked out for anyone, to be honest. Despite that, this is overall a nice little piece of DLC. While it might be short and it's a bit disappointing that there are no new open world levels to play in, the makeover some levels get combined with the maybe too timely story make it a satisfying add-on to the main game. The DLC of Hitman 2 is what I was really looking for though. 2 entirely new maps, New York and Haven Island, with mission stories, opportunities, and detailed stories for all of the targets. There isn't much new in these 2 maps when it comes to mechanics, but the levels are well designed and the environments feel alive. Haven Island's targets have an intricate web of lies to untangle, and the bank heist you can pull off in New York is particularly fun to do. I've already discussed the story of this downloadable content in depth in the plot section, but I will give you this one non-spoiler tip. You need to play the New York and Haven Island downloadable content if you're planning to play Hitman 3. That's all I'll say. The DLC would usually be the end of this section, but the fun doesn't stop with what the developers made. Oh no. There's also fun that other players have designed for you in the form of contracts. Go to a mission, pick your target, and murder them in whatever highly specific way you choose. Then post it on the contracts board and watch as a 10-year-old in France does it way faster and better than you did. These vary wildly, from the short and easy to the nigh impossible, but if you're not sure where to start, the trending contracts are usually a safe bet. You can have up to 9 targets in one level, which is a lot. It also means that the lack of saving on contracts is a real issue. I get that it's online, but are you serious? Some of these are ridiculous, and you're not gonna let me save? If I kill 8 guys, and then the last one sees me and shoots me with 22 bullets until I finally die, friend, I'm not starting over again. I'm going to play Rocket League. Yes, no! Luckily for me, there is a final way of enjoying yourself in this game. Ruthlessly murdering every single person in the level. Chaos runs, where you set up traps and just watch the madness you've wrought with glee and a stunning lack of empathy, are so much fun! And I spend most of my time in role-playing games trying to be as nice as humanly possible to everyone. No, not you. Fuck off, Larry. Except, I did feel bad about Larry later, after the game told me to. Do you think I feel bad for this island full of rich assholes who are voting on if they're gonna acknowledge climate change? Yeah, no, I'm fine with this. And while my score might not be great, it's actually a good method to explore the level more in depth and find some secrets. And maybe check off a few of those challenges along the way. Nice. IO Interactive seems like a company with great developers and a fantastic sense of humor, but a poor marketing team and bad business sense. And also a PTSD-like fear of doing anything too extreme with their plot. The graphics are stunning, the level design is great, and the main characters are elevated by the voice acting. But the actors can't save the weak overall plot, and the troubled development cycle shows in the form of cost-cutting measures. As for if you should buy it, this is one of the rare games where the weak overall story didn't ruin the fun for me. The individual levels have stories that are so engaging and fun to discover that the bog standard overarching plotline doesn't remove the satisfaction of a job well done, or a murder well planned. The challenges, contracts, and downloadable content give the game a lot of replayability. Though I gotta say, IO, some of your prices for the DLC are painful.
We're not just doing this for money. We're doing it for a shitload of money.
Now, I was going to give these games 9 out of 10 or a 4 out of 5 or whatever, but the fact that the end of Hitman 2's story is behind a DLC paywall, that really rankles me. So Hitman 2016 gets to suffer thanks to its sequel's shitty marketing call. 8 out of 10 for them both. You should buy these games, and I can guarantee I'll be buying Hitman 3. Shit, he's waking up. See you later, crew members.
Oh god, my head. What? Has this been recording the whole time? Well, I guess if you liked whatever this video is, leave a comment and a like, subscribe if you're not. We have a Patreon and Ko-Fi if you want to support the channel further. Oh god. Stay safe and be who you are. Oh, I gotta go lie down.